Tonight on the Bayou Breakdown, LSU's playoff chances take a crushing blow after leaving College Station with an L. An action-packed weekend in the SEC provides stability within the conference and a look into the life of an LSU basketball coach. We've got a lot to get to. The Bayou Breakdown starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to the Bayou Breakdown. I'm Madeline Frentress.
And I'm Jada Ferris.
All right, Jada, you know, first thing on the list is always talk about the weekend.
LSU football.
LSU traveled to College Station, and it was a little disappointing for LSU fans.
I was too disappointed because, you know, you just have to be ready for all situations, and they just weren't. You need to know that Marcel Reed was playing great in the beginning of the season. They're going to use him at some point when their number one guy is not looking the way he needs to, and that's exactly what happened, and they just were unprepared for that run game.
Yeah, when the game changes like that, you've got to know how to make those adjustments in the blink of an eye, just really fast like that. But, you know, to say the game was disappointing for LSU fans would be an understatement. Tiger TV's own Christian Gladney is here in the studio to talk about what exactly went down. Christian?
Thanks, Madeline. Earlier this year, LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier said that Kyle Field is loud, but doesn't come close in comparison with Tiger Stadium. In a primetime matchup with serious college football playoff implications, the Tigers look to secure first place in the SEC with a win over the Aggies.
Primetime SEC football. Number 8 versus number 14. Over 108,000 fans, which is the third largest attendance in Kyle Field history, and the chance to secure the number 1 spot atop the SEC. The Tigers' offense started off with a bang, managing to capitalize on a fumble recovery with a Mason Taylor touchdown. The Tigers took a commanding 10-0 lead. While the explosive plays for Garrett Nussmeier have been few and far between this season, the junior quarterback found one of his favorite targets in Aaron Anderson for the longest reception all season, a 76-yard house call, and the purple and gold extends the lead to 17-7 entering halftime. But the Aggies' new quarterback change would add insult to injury. Starting quarterback Connor Wigman was benched in favor of Marcel Reed, who is a dual-threat specialist that put this on notice with an 8-yard rushing touchdown. Leaning into their run game, the Aggies would once again find the end zone. Reed's rushing touchdown gave A&M its first lead of the game at 21-17. And defensive leader Greg Penn III believes that the defense needs to hold themselves accountable.
We just weren't ready for it. I mean, I'm not going to make excuses, but we just didn't do a good job of doing our jobs when he was in the game.
And head coach Brian Kelly believes that the Tigers' success is directly related to the team's defensive play.
I thought the first half of football, we disrupted the quarterback. We got the quarterback pulled out of the game. I mean, they had to make a change. You know, they brought in a quarterback that they had the one big play down the middle, you know, in the fourth quarter, and that's really it in the passing game. So we've got to get to a point where we feel really good about running quarterbacks and taking them out of the game.
For Tiger TV, I'm Christian Gladney. The Tigers' remaining schedule does not get any easier. Their next matchup will be against the familiar foe, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Kickoff time will be at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. With each team's season on the line, be prepared for a potential instant classic matchup under the lights of Death Valley.
Thanks, Christian. From the gridiron to the court, basketball season is here, and soon we'll see the return of LSU men's basketball players like Jalen Reed, Tyrell Ward, and the potential return of redshirt freshman Corey Chest. This will also be the first time we see freshman Victorious Miller, Curtis Givens III, and Robert Miller. Having recruited these guys for years, Coach McMahon says now is the time to develop them.
All 3 top 60 type players in their class. I think they have great talent. Now they have to learn what playing at the SEC level is, like the physicality. We talk all the time. This is the #1 offensive rebounding league in the country. It's the #1 shot blocking league in the country. That points to the athleticism and physicality you're going to see around the basket. So I think that the good thing about all 3, really quick learners. And I'm excited about their futures, both here in the short term and the long term.
Now, even though 4 teams spend the weekend watching games on TV, it was still an exciting week with very tight matchups in the SEC and ranked games throughout. We're going to start in Nashville as the Commodores had another chance to take down a top 5 team at home. This time, the Texas Longhorns looking to bounce back after their first loss. Nashville, or Nash Vegas as I like to call it, Vanderbilt had another chance to upset a top 5 team, and they really got on the ball early, scoring first. Texas responded really quickly, jumping to 21-10 lead at the half. Quinn Ewers with a completely effective deep ball with 2 25-yard or more touchdown passes early in the game. He was 27 for 37 with 288 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Now, Vanderbilt gave him a little bit of pushback later in the game, forcing him to throw 2 interceptions, which we saw was a problem last week against Georgia as well. Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia with 143 yards, 16 carries, 1 touchdown, and 67 yards on the ground. Vanderbilt's comeback came short, with the final score being 27-24, Texas winning it.
All right, Jada, let's head over to Oxford. We've got an Ole Miss team that's trying to keep their playoff hopes alive and an Oklahoma team that's really just trying to get back on track. But the Sooners did have a pretty strong first half. They were up 14-10 at the half, and Jackson Arnold, missing 3 weeks, he was benched, but he had a pretty solid performance in this game. He was 22 for 31, had 182 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bauer Sharp and Jacob Jordan both caught first half touchdowns. But that Ole Miss defense really stepped up in the second half. They shut them up and shut them out. They tallied 10 sacks in this game. That Ole Miss defense really coming through. And Jackson Dart, of course, not missing a beat either. He completed 73% of his passes, 311 yards, and a touchdown. And all of that without Trey Harris as well. They didn't miss a beat and ultimately got the job done. Ole Miss still outside the top 12, so they're still not in the playoff talk right now. But they play Arkansas next week, which is very winnable for them. And then Oklahoma loses their 3rd straight.
Now, after the break, we take a look at the current life of a former LSU star who's taking his talents back to the court.
The Bayou Breakdown is just kicking off.
And get it done. Yeah, everybody know Gordon in a 225. And he done link with Big Four. He got buku ties, Ferrari sliding, flying in a new coupe ride. And every time I ride by, I see a brand new sign. I'm with Gordon. I know that he gon' get it done. Whether it's a big truck crash or a hit and run. Recovery funds, he fighting to get a ton. Mike Epps, man, we all about the Benjamin. Handling injuries, man, are you kidding me? Gordon McKernan, that's champion energy. Yeah, family man with a family plan. Get Gordon, he gon' fix it like a handyman. Get Gordon. And get it done.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Feel bad? Yes. Oh, no, I don't feel bad. This is the
Purple Room Podcast is back. And now we're live from walk-ons every Friday before home football games.
Run by passionate students, the Purple Room delivers all the latest LSU sports and culture.
Join us for great food,
cold drinks,
and for a chance to win free loaded cheese fries.
The Purple Room, the ultimate pregame podcast party.
Live from walk-ons every Friday before home football games.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical to save the day. From electrical issues to keeping you comfortable, plumbing repairs, and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical, your one-stop solution for electrical, AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call or visit us online at southernairbr.com.
Welcome back to the Bayou Breakdown. And as LSU men's basketball prepares to get their season underway, our own Andon Brabham took a look at one of the most vocal influences on Matt McMahon's staff.
As LSU men's basketball gets ready to tip off their new season, there's one assistant coach who may not always be seen, but will certainly be heard.
Best time of the year, baby. Woo!
Tasman Mitchell is entering his 8th season as an assistant for the Tigers, But the journey back to LSU for this Denham Springs native has been much longer. Mitchell starred as a freshman on the last Tigers team to reach the Final Four in 2006 and went on to grace the LSU record books in several categories. As his successful post-LSU career in Europe was continuing, Mitchell started struggling with the time away.
It kept getting harder and harder to leave my children. I used to leave them for like 10 months and only come home a month and a half.
In 2016, Mitchell received a call back home he was unable to refuse.
The great flood of 2016, most of my family lost their houses, man. My mom, my aunts, my cousins, my grandmother. And then during that process, my grandmother, which is like one of my favorite girls in the world, like that's my baby, she developed breast cancer.
It was after this that Tasman made the ultimate sacrifice to end his career and go back home.
Man, I gotta sit here and fight this battle with her and my family. I can't go back over there and live my life, live like a superstar, and live nice, live cool, while everybody's living in one household, still struggling to fix their homes, and my grandmother going through the battle of chemo, radiation, and all that stuff. So I'm like, man, hey, man, this family is bigger than me. My family means more to me than anything.
Although his transition away from playing was a struggle, it reopened the door to come back to his other home.
And I was just praying to God, man, like, let me find my way.
Mitchell became Coach Taz in 2017, and when head coach Matt McMahon arrived in 2022, Mitchell was the only coach retained.
Well, I think when you talk about Taz, the first thing that comes to mind for me is the incredible pride that he takes in those three letters across the chest. It gives them an opportunity to learn from somebody who not only had success here as a player, but as a professional.
Mitchell now uses his legacy as the third leading scorer in program history to inspire the current Tigers.
Like I tell these guys, man, don't be temporary, be legendary.
Although his journey back to LSU wasn't planned, Mitchell is taking full advantage of every opportunity he's been given.
A lot of guys that played at LSU don't get the opportunity that I get, you know what I'm saying, that I got. So I'm thankful, and I'm favored. Favor ain't fair, man. So I'm big blessed. I'm big blessed.
For Tiger TV Sports, I'm Endon Brabham.
You're going to edit a lot of this, bro. These guys here. Woo!
Coach Taz will definitely be one of the most important pieces of the puzzle behind the scenes for LSU this year, as the Tigers look to make just as much noise as their coach. From one coach making an impact to one former athlete paving the way, our own Juliana Russell is in the studio to talk about what exactly makes this athlete so special. Juliana?
Thanks, Madeline. As October comes to an end, we wanted to shine some light on a former diving athlete turned Olympic silver medalist who never let adversity stop him from jumping to his goals.
Definitely, if I never gone to LSU, I probably wouldn't make the Olympics.
Olympic diving silver medalist Juan Zelaya came to LSU in 2016 knowing nothing about the school except his best friend, who talked him into the diving program. A tiger being his favorite animal gave him an extra push.
He offered me a spot in the team, full ride, probably a master's. The chance to compete here in Mexico and the United States for LSU, still compete from Mexico and do all the trips and all that stuff.
One of his biggest challenges he faced after moving to the U.S. was learning English. What made it even more interesting was his roommates all spoke different languages.
They were great, but those first 6 months, I would have to communicate with them through Google Translate or signs, because one of them was from England, another one from Estonia, another one from Croatia, and myself from Mexico. So it was a bunch of languages here and there. All of them, they knew English. I didn't. So it was just like, it was kind of funny trying to bond with each other.
After graduating from LSU in 2020, Juan immediately started training for the Olympic trials, but just kept missing the cut. Throughout the emotional disappointment, he was dealing with even more letdown behind closed doors, from family issues to girlfriend problems. Juan had to learn how to shut out the noise and focus on diving and his new synchronized partner, Osmar Olvera.
So he also recommended that the best thing you can do is go to that training center, go train with Osmar's team, with the Chinese coach, and get away from everything. Just focus on yourself, focus on your plan, focus on your goal, and just go.
And go he did, even after losing his first dog through all the chaos.
I did it for him. I did it for myself. I signed a deal with myself.
One thing he always told himself during training to keep himself going and feels everyone should live by is,
if your goals don't scare you, they're not big enough. That's one thing I always say to myself. So put your head down, figure out a way to make it happen.
With a jam-packed schedule and constant traveling, it has come to no surprise he has been sleeping on planes. And since being back from Paris, Juan has offered his guidance to other Mexican divers like himself who hope to find their way to the Olympics or even to LSU. Some other Hispanic LSU athletes that have been dominating their sport are golfer Rosia Tejero, diver Montserrat Gutierrez, and distance runner Lorena Rangel. After the break, Tiger TV is debuting a brand new segment. Stick with us, you won't want to miss it.
Get Gordon and get it done. Yeah, everybody know Gordon in a 225. He done link with Big Four. He got buku ties, Ferrari sliding, flying in a new coupe ride. And every time I ride by, I see a brand new sign. I'm with Gordon. I know that he gon' get it done. Whether it's a big truck crash or a hit and run, recovery funds, he fighting to get a ton. Mike Epps, man, we all about the Benjamin. Handling injuries, man, are you kidding me? Gordon McKernan, that's champion energy. Yeah, family man with a family plan. Get Gordon, he gon' fix it like a handyman. Get Gordon and get it done.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Feel bad?
Yes.
Oh no, I don't feel bad. This is the art.
The Purple Room podcast is back. And now we're live from walk-ons every Friday before home football games.
Run by passionate students, the Purple Room delivers all the latest LSU sports and culture.
Join us for great food,
cold drinks,
and for a chance to win free loaded cheese fries.
The Purple Room, the ultimate pregame podcast party.
Live from walk-ons every Friday before home football games.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical to save the day. From electrical issues to keeping you comfortable, plumbing repairs, and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical, your one-stop solution for electrical, AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call or visit us online at southernairbr.com.
Welcome back to the Bayou Breakdown, and welcome to the first edition of Talent vs. Tactic with me, Gia Picarella. Today we'll be looking at LSU football's last two national championship wins and decide whether they won because of talent on the field or minds on the sidelines. The Tigers played in the BCS in 2007 under Les Miles against Ohio State with a final score of 38-24. Beanie Wells scored a 65-yard rushing touchdown for Ohio State to open up the game. LSU held the momentum until Malcolm Jenkins intercepted Matt Flynn's pass, transferring it into Ohio State's hands, and as we all know, LSU still ended up on top. I'm saying this is all tactic, and here's why. LSU ended up in the BCS by chance. Virginia lost to Pittsburgh, and Missouri lost to Oklahoma in the same weekend, bumping LSU up. LSU's most recent national championship in 2019 was against Clemson, and the final score was 42-25. LSU was led by Ed Ogeron and finished the regular season undefeated. LSU's offense was shaken up by Clemson's defense at first. Then Joe Burrow began to warm up. He finished the game with 463 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. Clemson held their own, but just couldn't keep up. So if you haven't caught on already, this was definitely talent. That's all I have today for Talent versus Tactic. Now back to the desk for a look at the best Tigers in Week 8 of the NFL.
Another week in the NFL and another week of LSU stars producing all around the league with a particular stellar performance from the 2023 class. We've got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase versus the Philadelphia Eagles. We've got a Burrow and Chase connection here. You'll see that right as Joe Burrow moves in the pocket. He steps up, connects to Chase, and, Chase is going to continue that celebration, all the dances that we've seen in college. But we've also got Brian Thomas Jr. here, Jada.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we don't have enough time to see BTJ, but you can head to our website to see the rest of NFLSU and the other Tigers dominating in the league. That's all for tonight. I'm Jada Ferris.
And I'm Madeline Frentress. Have a great night.